For cheap gold, items and other boosts for Diablo 4, visit aoeah.com. Check out the link in the description, you get 3% off with the code ARIAD. Hello and welcome everybody. In the world of Diablo 4, it's becoming quite clear that the season is running out of steam, with fewer and fewer players being active. A more effective mid-season patch might have prevented this. Buffing the other classes was the right idea, but unfortunately it just wasn't strong enough. Many builds still face a fundamental issue: they are too weak for high tier pit runs, making it difficult to level up their glyphs. Even if you design your build for other tasks, you'll still want to get all your glyphs to level 100, so a better balancing is urgently needed. 3 points are very effective in keeping players motivated: a variety of options, respecting the player's invested time, and rewards for exceptional performance. Diablo 4 could make so much out of these 3 aspects, but unfortunately lots of things are going wrong right now. There are only few strong build options at the top, and the item crafting system often leaves players feeling like their time has been rushed down the toilet. Good items drop very rarely, which is fine. This RNG element was present in Diablo 2 as well. But however, D4 adds extra RNGs when tampering and upgrading, making optimal results feel almost impossible. Perhaps this is just a bit too much. The Masterwork system in general has a good concept, but its fine-tuning could be improved. For example, it would be far more motivating if you could just reset your item upgrades in steps of 4 ranks, letting players optimize their gear step by step, without the risk of making things worse. They could maybe raise the costs in return. Players just shouldn't feel like they're wasting their time. Another issue is that Eternal players' items just become useless after almost every season. This also doesn't show respect for the players' invested time. Okay, they are still trying to find a stable and balanced meta, so such things just have to happen. But on the long run, they should also care about Eternal players. So the 2 key points to bring back Diablo 4 are clear: a solid balancing, and stop trashing players' time in the item crafting system. With Path of Exile 2 coming soon, Blizzard absolutely must deliver. Otherwise, many players might reorientate. I guess initially many gamers will try out PoE 2 simply because it's new. But on the long run, the success will depend on its quality. Of course, pre-release hype always paints a rosy picture. I still remember how it was before the Diablo 4 launch. Hype was real. But who can say for sure that PoE 2 won't have its problems either? That will only become clear after its release. Moreover, PoE fundamentally differs from Diablo in ways that divide opinions. Things one person loves, another might dislike. I don't know if it will be as dramatic as in the first PoE, but personally I'm not a fan of time-consuming elements like endless skill trees, drawn-out boss fights, and punishing one-hit mechanics. So I guess that 2 camps will emerge, just like when the first Path of Exile came out. Otherwise, it would be a misery if Diablo 4 would simply die. Looking back, the game has already improved significantly. Remember the time when you had to store aspects in the stash and use max rolls sparingly, or the time when you had to leave and reset the dungeon after every Duriel run, or the time when the only endgame content was high-tier nightmare dungeons and you had to travel on your mount to get there. Compared to those days, today's endgame is much more comfortable and there is a lot more variety. There is still room for improvements, and the next season is supposed to introduce an option to save builds, like in Diablo 3. That's great of course, and I have been waiting for this so long. But I guess the previously mentioned points about players' motivation are even more important. It would be great to experience a season where all classes are nearly on the same level and each class has multiple strong build options. Season 5 had made some progress in balancing, but the new Vessel of Hatred meta and the Spiritborn just shook everything up again. Of course, finding a good balancing is not easy, there are many factors to be think, and of course bugs have to get fixed as well. But this task is not impossible. Finally, I will summarize some more concrete suggestions for improving. First, Mephisto should become a farm spot, just like Andariel or Duriel. Everyone I know wants to do Mephisto runs. By the way, the same should apply to Bale and Diablo in the future. Shortening the damage numbers was fine, but it would be even better if players could manually set a cap, so only damage numbers above a certain value get displayed. Often, the monster density in the pit is too low, forcing players to backtrack and seek out for enemies. The player should just encounter enough monsters, no matter which way he goes. After completing events or dungeons, it would be nice to be able to see some statistics, like highest hit, which player did most damage, and so on. Within the new scrolls, there already is a portable anvil for repairing gear. Why not add one for salvaging? This would be very useful in longer Duriel sessions. If ancestral items just stay that rare, their aspect rolls should at least be in the upper range. And last but not least, why not make materials like rawhide crystals or souls tradable? Farming 100 Duriels just for souls and rawhide isn't very motivating. Crafting materials consumed in large quantities should be easy to farm and more targeted. With the PTR phase for the next season coming soon, I hope we'll hear some positive news. Have a nice Sunday evening, take care, and may the loot be with you.
Follow me. Thanks. Goodbye.